Welcome to this tutorial in HTML. Now, if you can remember, we did this in our last video. We created two text box, these two text box here, and we used the form tag to do that. You can see here we created these two text boxes here over here. Now, what we want to do in this video today, we want to ask the user for their information, and this information will be their name and their country. So we want them to put their name and their country in these text boxes. Okay, we want to give a label for name and country. So to do that, we use the label tag. Okay, now let's get to that. To do this, I already have it. Let me copy and paste this and I'll explain it. This is the label. Okay, now with this label, you can see it's also have a closing tag. Don't forget that. Now this label, when you use this label to allow you to put something here, to put a name here over here, so the user can know the information they are going to enter. Okay, now let me explain this. The label, after the label you have the four attributes. Now this four attribute needs to be the same with this ID. We need to tie these two together, and to tie these two together, this is what we do. You give your space and use an ID attribute, and you name it the same, called first box. These two needs to be the same. These two attributes, they need to be the same, the for of first box and the ID of first box. So by doing this, you have tied these two together. Now this name here over here, this name is what will be displayed by the side of that first text box. Okay, now let's load this. You can see now we have name. Okay, now if a user comes here and the user sees this, the user will know that we are asking for his or her name. Okay, now if you click this, you can see, if you click the name, you can see the box is highlighted. So that is the work of that label. Okay, if you click this name, you can see the box is highlighted. So that is what the label does. Okay, yeah, make sure you tie these two together using this first box. Make sure these two names are the same, the for attribute first box and the ID attribute first box. Make sure the name is the same. Now we want to also give the label for this second box, and we want to ask for their country. We want the user to give us the name of his country or her country. Okay, now let's paste this here. Now what we do here now is we name this the same here over here, an ID of first of no, let's just make this appropriate. Okay, let's just give it a second box. Okay, because it's the second box, it's the second text box. Okay, let's just call it second box over here. Make sure they are the same so they can be tied together. Okay, second box. And now we want, remember this here is what will be displayed by the side of that text box. Okay, so let's just use country because we want the user to provide the name of his country. Okay, now this, by doing this, now let's load this. You can see now we have a name and a country. So when the user comes here, he or she will know that they need to put their name or their country. They need to put their name and their country. Okay, now if you click this country here, click it, and you can see now the box is highlighted. Okay, so that is how you do that. Okay, that is how you label your text box. You can see this many times in many websites you have visited. You can see this where they tell you to fill informations. You see name, country, password, and that. Don't worry, we'll be doing passwords later. Okay, we'll get to that. don't worry about that. Okay, so that is it for label for this video. Okay, so that will be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next video.